After a historic season for the St. Bonaventure men's basketball team came to a close last Saturday in Bloomington, it only made sense to immediately scope out the state of next year's squad. While the return of all 5 starters bodes well for a potential return to the big dance, it hasn't been a favorable start to the offseason for a team already short on depth.
He does that so well.
Sophomore guard Alejandro Vasquez and junior center Jalen Shaw both entered their names into the transfer portal earlier this week. Vasquez was the youngest scholarship player on the roster and played a pivotal role as the team's 6th man this season, averaging over 4 points per game in 21 appearances. After the departure of Justin Winston in late December, Shaw served much of the year as the team's only reserve big and compiled quality minutes when Oshun Oshuni would go to the bench. The 2 departures leave head coach Mark Schmidt with 6 scholarship slots to fill. Neither player has indicated yet where their transfer destination will be.
Nice look inside. That one's going to count, and one.
As we transition from the winter season to a packed spring sports season, the St. Bonaventure baseball team prepares for its home opener this weekend. The Bonnies will look to shake off a 3-game sweep against Youngstown State as they welcome a familiar foe to Fred Handler Park Saturday afternoon. St. Bonaventure will break in their home slate with back-to-back doubleheaders Saturday and Sunday against LaSalle. Head coach Larry Sudbrook returns an experienced bunch for this season. Starting pitchers Donovan Moffitt and Elijah Baez on the mound last weekend combined to give up just 4 runs. And players like Brendan Stillman will look to build on their hot starts from the shortened 2020 campaign. But for Coach Sudbrook, getting his players back on the diamond is what he's looking forward to most.
Most important thing is they get to play. I mean, we had some seniors last year. 3 of those guys came back for the 5th year that they were granted. I mean, we've already been COVIDed out of our first weekend. So even when you get the word that you're all clear, that doesn't mean that the team you're playing is all clear.
First pitch on one of Saturday's doubleheaders with the Explorers is set for noon. The Bonnies will look forward to their first home game in 680 days. There may be a litany of sports to cover this spring season, but one I can assure you isn't offered at St. Bonaventure is hurling. Renowned in Irish culture, hurling has been passed down in Irish tradition for years. Our own Grace Foley explored the world of the sport that combines baseball, lacrosse, and field hockey.
When one hears the word hurling, there are a couple things that come to mind, some more pleasant than others. In the Irish community, hurling is a sport that defines the Gaelic culture.
It's actually one of the oldest field sports in the world. Historically, they go back a couple of thousand years. There's no real regulations until the late 1800s in Ireland, when there was sort of a movement to have a focus on Irish language, arts, and sports.
Hurling is the perfect blend of lacrosse, baseball, and field hockey. They play on the field about the size of 1.5 American football fields. While many might think people do the sport because of its competitiveness and physical nature, a lot of people tend to do it because it lets them stay connected to their roots.
The community feel of it, I think, is great. And again, it is the draw to me was my parents are from Ireland and my cousins played when I was little, and I never thought I would never even crossed my mind. I watched them play when I was a kid and I was like, wow, that's something they do that I'll never be able to do.
Finding a community to connect him back to home was important for Brendan McGinn. But sharing his knowledge of his heritage to others looking to create a bond with their ancestors finds itself to be a very rewarding task.
Living outside of where you've grown up, you always want something that reminds you of home. I've reached out to an Irish American community that I didn't know existed. I'm playing something that I grew up in a different country, and also have the ability just to show them what this sport means to me and how great a sport it is.
These hurlers find a connection to their home and their sport. Their goal? To help others find the same connection to a special land and a special culture. For SBU-TV Sports, I'm Grace Foley.
Switching now to a little NHL news. The Buffalo Sabres made history last night, and not in a good way. A 4-0 loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins marked the team's 16th straight defeat. They extend what is now their longest losing streak in franchise history. Pittsburgh's Jared McCann led the offensive attack with 2 goals last night. The Sabres haven't claimed a victory since February 23rd. Their next chance to get back in the win column comes tomorrow afternoon as they head to Boston for a 1 o'clock matchup with the Bruins.
3 shutouts, 4-0 final score in Pittsburgh.
And if there's one thing we've learned about sports in a pandemic, you have to be extra careful around a hot mic. The NHL fired 22-year veteran referee Tim Peel Wednesday following an incident in Tuesday's Predators-Red Wings game. After Nashville forward Victor Arvidsson was assessed a tripping penalty on Detroit defenseman John Merrill, a ringside TV microphone caught this audio going to commercial break.
It wasn't much, but I wanted to get a penalty against Nashville early in the
The Voice trails off there, but the NHL did later determine the Voice to be Peels. The league said in a statement he would no longer be working NHL games now or in the future, although he is still listed on the NHL Officials Association's active referees roster. And in anticipation of Saturday's baseball home opener for the Bonnies, we broke out our spring edition of SBU-TV Sports Trivia. Our question this week: when was the last time the St. Bonaventure baseball team won its home opener? Who did the win come against? And who was the winning pitcher? How about SBU-TV Sports Trivia savant Dan Geyer, a junior here at St. Bonaventure, coming in with the clean sweep and hitting all three parts of this week's question. March 29, 2019, the Bonnies took down Bucknell in their home opener, and Donovan Moffitt came on in relief to take the win. Congratulations, Dan, on another trivia victory. And no show next week, with it being Good Friday, but that doesn't mean we're taking a week off from SBU-TV Sports Trivia. Stay tuned to our social media accounts for next week's question coming your way on Tuesday. Jaron, Michaela, back over to you.